This episode of the Flush Podcast is brought to you by Onyx Hunt, Walton's, Aluma Trailers, Hoksey Native Seeds, Aberdeen, South Dakota, Compeer Home, and by GAIM Virtual Shooting Simulators. Speaking of game simulators, Phillip Jones from GAIM is in the roost today with myself, Big Al over there across the table, Hannah the Hunter. We're going to have some fun today shooting and hunting in a world of virtual reality. This has become our favorite office distraction, and you're about to understand why. Plus, I think it may help a few of our hunters with their shot this upcoming season in the field. Welcome to another episode of the Flush Podcast. I am Travis Frank. Big Al is our producer. Big round of applause to you, Al, today, because not only is this an audio show, this is a video show. And video is going to be an important component today because we're playing games. And you're going to be able to watch this. Hannah the Hunter to my left, Phillip Jones to my right. Al, do you feel like it's going to work? Do you feel like you got this all ready to go? What's your heart rate at?
My heart rate is actually way better than a live show. I'll tell you that much.
Really?
That was the one time my heart rate was through the roof.
Which one?
When we did the Pheasant Fest live show.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one where my heart rate was through the roof. Right now it's pretty calm.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, no mustache. You've given yourself quite
You shaved
the trim.
yours, so I figured I would shave mine.
Are we like we just do the same thing now?
Yeah.
Alex wants to be you.
We should grow ours back out though.
I'm going to.
Yes.
Yes. The amount of comments that have talked about why I got rid of the stash has led me to really give thought to. I'm planning to grow it out for hunting season. That was my original plan. I was gonna go clean for summer, and then grow it out for hunting season.
I plan to just grow mine out just cause.
Okay, just because I was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to grow my hair out like you, and then you get the curls. Now. I know you look like you're 7, not 17, not 27.
When I came into the office the other day, Tuesday after Memorial Day, right after I got my haircut, I was like, "Oh, it's Tuesday, not Monday. They won't be having a meeting right outside of my office. It won't be a big group of people that's going to say something."
And were they?
Lo and behold, I walk in and see everybody piled in right in front of my office, and I just put my head down and just walked into my office.
Which you were late to the meeting, by the way. You were supposed to be there.
Hey, technically, I'm not in the meeting, so I'm just the podcast guy, not the video guy.
Don't say just.
I'm the podcast guy, not the video guy.
There you go.
It's the heartbeat.
People didn't even recognize you.
Exactly.
In the office
Exactly.
This morning, I woke up to my daughter with the biggest smile on her face, you guys. She had the biggest smile because we have been incubating chicks at our house. A friend had the incubator, and she's like, "Would you guys like to see the baby chickens hatch, the chicks?" And we're like, 1,000% yes. All the kids. So last night we had some pips, and the shells, the eggs were rolling around in this little incubation chamber. It's got to have the humidity just right. I mean, all of it. Have you seen it, Phillip?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So my daughter, basement is where we've got the incubator set up. Her room is nearby, and she woke up to the cheep, 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 all of the little chirps. So she was up with the sun this morning very early, and we have 2 chicks, all fluffy, one yellow one kind of darker colored one. I don't know how many different kinds of chickens we're going to end up with out of this, but we're not keeping them. We're just hatching and raising them and then bringing them back because our kids want to see the process. And ultimately, it's really cool. So that's why I've got my yellow shirt on. My wife wore a yellow shirt today, too, in honor of our chicks. And then I went down there and we watched another one poking. And they're so funny because when a chick hatches, all the energy that they use to bust out of that shell, they just face first. And you swear they just died in front of you.
Do you just have the chickens just like as pets? Or are you gonna eggs or anything?
Well, we already have our own chickens.
Okay.
So we're not gonna add any to our chickens right now because there's a couple of them that are a little I don't know what the right word is.
Not very smart.
Not very friendly. Kind of like get out of my way, pushes the other chickens, and it's so funny because it's our 3-year-old's chicken that is the one that just like bosses everybody around. And our 3-year-old is the one that runs the show amongst all the other kids.
Imagine.
Too. It's just,
it's like a transfer.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Totally. So I think the older chickens would actually kill the chicks if we put them together. That's what we've been told.
Yeah.
So we do have friends that are going to take these chickens. But right now they're super cute, these little tiny little chicks. And there's probably more poking out as we speak. But it's so funny. The first time we had chicks at our house, we're like, oh my gosh, that one died. Because they literally, they'll be like, beep, beep, beep. And they just go face first and they just lay there motionless. And you're like, oh no, that one's dead. Nope. They just fall asleep like that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they get right back up. So anyway, we've got chicks.
So
Back to our regularly
Back to
scheduled
our
program.
regularly
Yeah.
scheduled program. Where was I? Hannah, keep us on track.
Today, we're here with Phillip and
Yeah,
Hannah.
yeah.
Guys, it's my
Yeah,
show now.
yeah.
So
No,
don't-
I know that. I know that. But was
What
there
are we
anything
gonna
else?
be doing
Oh,
today?
yeah. Okay. So last week we talked about a lot of Father's Day gift ideas. I think I had about a dozen, sharing some experiences, a few items in the field. And I specifically left this one out because I knew Phillip was coming into town today and that we were going to record this episode to have a lot of fun. Like today, I'm excited about this because we have the game unit and it's virtual reality hunting and shooting, variety of different setups here. Hannah the hunter, you are going to be shooting over my shoulder here. We have cast what you're going to see in the headset onto this TV monitor behind. So if you're watching the video, you can see right now there's boar hunting, 3 different setups there. But if you turn when you're in the headset, you're going to see you could go moose hunting. You can go
Clays.
There's bears.
deer, there's bear, there's all kinds of different
Yep.
big game. Then there's birds, and then there's also sporting clays, skeet, trap. This, like I mentioned right off the top, this has become quite an office distraction, and it's probably for the
Totally.
best that your dad's not here, Hannah, because
Oh, yeah.
he like sneak plays this game when nobody's looking. All of a sudden
He
he'll come
sent a
around.
text message one time when she sent a picture of you and I playing it, and he put a sad face and then said, "Get to work."
We posted it on the Flushes story, and then he just had like a sad emoji that he responded.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
awesome.
But I would say, like, if you're gonna rank the shooters in the office using virtual
Well, you're
reality,
one.
thank you.
Whoa,
That
I
was-
was
that was-
practicing. Whoa, you've obviously never seen me with the mallards
Alex,
recently.
You've practiced probably 75 times.
Okay, and Phillip shouldn't have given it to us. Now my workload has gone down.
I don't feel guilty about this at all. I just want to let you know, whilst productivity has plummeted, morale has skyrocketed.
Yes,
I
it
already
has.
know the
Yes,
answer
it
to that.
Life is too important to be taken seriously, Philip.
Absolutely, it is.
It is. And so we've been playing it here at the office. My kids have shot it at home as
Yep.
well. We'll talk a little bit more about what VR has done for shooting sports
Yeah.
and for firearm safety training and the scenarios that play out too. We're also going to give away one of these units.
We are.
We are.
Yeah,
so
we are.
I'll explain how that's going to go down here in a little bit. But we first met at Pheasant Fest. I learned a little bit about your story there. But we'll share a little bit more of that on the show before we get into this. But
Yeah.
first, you just flew into Minnesota. You didn't come here, as much as I want to say you came here for us. We stole some of your time right now, but you came here for what?
Yeah, so obviously I did come here to see you guys, but also we've been working with Pheasants forever for a little while, and coming up for their big shotgun review
Yep.
tomorrow
Shotgun
to give,
showcase at the Horse and Hunt Club.
to give everybody a chance to try the game system out for themselves.
Nice.
You know, because obviously you can use it inside or outside. So
Yep.
we're just going to be out in the wilds using game tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's gonna be a lot
And
of
you're
fun.
also going to try to dust a few real clays as well, right?
Yeah, some poor unfortunates have me on their clays team.
Do you know who you're on the
So
team with?
I have no idea whatsoever.
No, I've done it
Yeah.
the last couple of years. There's a few good shots. There's a
Yep.
few that could use the game unit. I'm
Yep.
gonna be honest. Maybe
I'll be making
sharpen
those
up.
recommendations while
Yeah.
we're standing there.
It's a lot of fun though. The course out there is. Have you ever shot at the Horse and Hunt Club before?
Oh, no, absolutely
Okay,
not.
so it takes you
Yeah.
through several different ranges.
Yeah.
The sporting clay course, I think. Well, I'm not going to speak for which one you're going to be on, but
Yeah.
they take you through the woods, and then you're over a marsh, and
Yeah.
you've got rabbits. You've got a lot of the same types of things that you're gonna
Yeah.
that we're gonna see here
Yep,
too.
absolutely.
So, but your accent clearly says you're not from Minnesota.
You've picked right up on that because you're an astute man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I grew up about 50 miles north of London. So
Okay.
I grew up in the UK. And started, with pheasants at a young age. So my uncle was a gamekeeper in Wales and ran an estate.
Gotcha.
So and that's obviously different type of pheasant hunting in the UK, right? So it's all driven hunt.
All driven.
Yeah. So
no wild bird hunting.
Not very much at all. So I grew up as a beater, was literally, given a stick and a direction to walk in with the grown-ups. I probably started that when I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
And then you've progressed, you do that for a few years, and then, then you become a loader because people are shooting, you're at fixed butts, shooting butts. And you usually come with a pair of shotguns and you have somebody reloading the one that you're not using, because when they're beating the birds, they're coming over in, they come over fast, they come over in groups, and they come over high. So it's quite difficult shooting. It's really different from sort of a walk-up type hunt that you do.
Did you ever progress to or have the opportunity to be the shooter then?
Oh, yeah,
too?
absolutely.
Okay.
Because you'll have sort of cleanup days and stuff after, you'll have events for everybody that's helped do the driven hunt. So yeah.
What do the grounds look like that you're hunting on then?
Quite open. The butts are kind of built up stone butts. And you've got somebody there with a retriever, and then you've got a loader. So it becomes quite a cooperative effort. But because those birds are coming over, they got up to a pretty good speed when they're coming over. So those shots are typically 45 degrees and up, and you're shooting birds that are moving fast. So there's a lot of missed shots.
So that was your experience with pheasants before moving to the U.S. Did you hunt for woodcock or any forest birds?
No, not at all. It was just pheasant. And then, I did that probably till I was about 18 or so. And then I went into the military. So, I went to Naval College and then went into the services for a number of years.
Okay, which military were you in?
I was in the Royal Navy.
Okay.
So, but the bit that's on the ground rather than on the water.
Okay.
So, reading maps and calling in gunfire and dropping bombs and stuff like that. So,
wow.
So that was a lot of fun. Loved it. That was going to be my whole life. About 10 years in, I injured my back, had to retire.
Okay.
How'd
you injure?
Fell off a mountain bike.
Oh, no.
Coming down a downhill in the Lake District.
You were playing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It wasn't work related.
It was, in between wars, right? This is where you bump in the medical bazaars. You bump into all these people that have dove into swimming pools with like no water in them and done all these stupid things.
Yeah.
And I was coming down. We have the north of England. There's an area called the Lake District, which is a beautiful area right up, sort of almost in the Scottish borders. And obviously, as its name implies, lots of lakes, but also lots of hills. So I'd gone up there with a buddy, and we'd spent one of those days we spent 2 hours going uphill and about 15 minutes coming back down. And we were coming down this riverbed. And I went over a jump, and I watched my front wheel go in a path that I wasn't necessarily planning. And I had that moment of suspension when I was like, that's not good, right? Because my wheel has now gone in a totally different direction to the rest of my bike. And then just ended up crashing horribly into that and busted a bunch of my spine. So that was it. That was kind of the end of my medical.
Would that be an honorable discharge or a dishonorable discharge?
Yeah, depending on who you ask. I think pretty honorable and quite exciting. So now I was 10 years into a career I was going to do until aged 55. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I had been friends with somebody from the U.S. Marine Corps who'd come back to the States, and I called him up. And you get a certain amount of time, right, where you get separation time, where you've got time to go find a job. And he said, well, why don't you come over for a vacation? And you can kind of figure it out. And he set me up on a blind date, and that was that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Love brought you here.
Yeah.
Love always wins,
I became like a war bride. I went home, packed 2 suitcases, and I've been in the U.S. ever since. So.
Okay.
Wow.
So, but it's been great.
But you stayed in the firearm industry, right? Or
yeah, I did.
In that world.
For many years I worked for Beretta.
Okay.
I was their product marketing guy for the rifle brands that they have, which is primarily Sako and Tika. So got some great adventures with them, taking journalists on hunts
Oh, sure.
all over the place. We went bear hunting in Russia with a group.
What was that like?
That was intense because, that was at a time when you could go to Russia for a start. But we literally drove across. The first thing was just getting there, right? So we flew up to northern Lapland. And
Bush plane?
No, regular airliner, actually.
Okay.
It was small regional airliner. And we met our guide up there with, all of our stuff. They brought a cook along with them and some guides with hunting dogs. And just 10 minutes to get through the Finnish border patrol and about 5 hours to get through the Russian border patrol or through the border crossing, because they just photographed everything. Right, photographed all the serial numbers because you're going through their checkpoint with guns.
You got to come back out with everything that
yeah,
they
including your
photographed you.
brass. They don't want you to lose any brass while you're there. So if you fire, make sure you don't leave the brass behind, because they want to sort of count it in and they want to count it out.
What would happen if you couldn't find it? What
I
was
don't
a
know.
penalty?
I'm sure there's. I don't know what it is. But
I
they
don't
would
know if there's any leeway there or not.
best not to find out.
Right.
I think it was all going pretty well. And we were told by the guide, who was Russian, just let them do their process. Don't make jokes. Don't laugh. Don't do anything that draws attention to yourself. Just let them go about their business and everything will be okay. And it was right up until the point that one of the journalists had a visa for Afghanistan in his passport. And that created a little bit of excitement for a few minutes. But, all in all, it was just a process. And then we jumped back in the van that we were in and drove about another 5 hours into this absolutely enormous preserve. And I don't think you really realize the scale of that country until you're in it. I remember at one point during a hunt.
When you say preserve, would that be like a national park?
Yeah, kind of. I guess where hunting's authorized.
Yep.
And we were working with dogs that would get into the undergrowth and look for. We had tags for bear and for bull moose, and they would check for the tracks where they were crossing like fire breaks, and then they would put the dogs in. No snow on the ground. It was probably early September.
Okay.
So it was a little chill in the morning, but it was actually it was great time of year to be there. And I remember one of these dogs got on a straight run after something, and we're watching them on GPS transmitters, and the guide said, the guy that was running the dog said, I have to cut this dog off at the next fire break, because the next fire break is 200 kilometers down further. So I'm like, just to give you an idea of how
there's a scope of how vast
this place was.
Yeah.
And the way it worked, I think I was hunting, I had like a 375 Holland & Holland. So pretty big caliber rifle, which, obviously you don't want to go there with a pea shooter.
Yeah.
But no backup gun or anything like that. And when they got onto a bear or moose, you didn't know which, you'd hear the dogs working and you'd see them moving. And then you would basically try and figure out where the prey was going to cross.
Are they barking?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can hear them.
Okay.
And
there's a
just
different
the way
bark when they're on it.
Yeah, and you can just see the way that they're moving. Usually it's sort of in circular patterns. You can just tell that they're on something. So they would then try and anticipate where in these fire breaks that this chase was going to cross. And then they would toss you all into a truck and drive you and drop you off at like quarter-mile increments.
So you're one of multiple shooters.
Yeah, there's probably like 6 of us there.
Jeepers.
But they just drop you and basically along this line. And there's no backup. You're just on the ground, you and your rifle, waiting for whatever is being chased to come your way. And where we were was mostly sort of fir and pine. And it was a part of the forest that had clearly burned probably about 5 years earlier. And so it was all fairly sort of new growth fir, and it was quite thick and dense, so you couldn't see. So I figured I had about 50 yards to recognize what was coming through the brush, because we didn't have to, you can't shoot a cow, moose. So figure out, can I shoot it? Is it safe to shoot it?
Yeah.
Where's the dog? And
could you shoot either sex of a bear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that made it quite exciting. And I will say, hearing them coming, this whole hullabaloo coming crashing through the trees around you, because it starts echoing around you. And you're there, and there is no one line of sight. You've got no one with you. And
you just hear this crashing coming.
Yeah, you could hear the barking of the dog, the crashing around in the woods.
Your heart is your heart just racing?
Pounding.
Hannah's is right now.
Let me tell you,
Seriously, just thinking about it.
If it isn't, there is something wrong. You might already be dead.
Yeah. I feel it right now.
And so this moose came crashing through the undergrowth, and it was a cow. So and the dog was jumping up around its hindquarters.
Really?
I'm like, I'm glad I don't have a decision here to make. I can't make a shot. But it was intense.
Wow. Would you like to establish a native prairie? Whether it's a small patch of wildflowers or a large field of upland bird and wildlife habitat, there are a lot of questions that may arise. The what, when, how, and how much can actually be overwhelming. Our friends at Hoksey Native Seeds can help. Not only do they sell native seeds, with over 40 years of growing their own prairie, they're happy to consult for free on any of your native prairie needs. Family owned and operated, Hoksey Native Seeds has provided countless acres of premium native habitat mixes sourced straight from their own fields in the heart of Iowa. For a free consultation, find them at hokseyNativeSeeds.com. If you're active in great outdoor adventures, then odds are good that you have gear, equipment, and toys that you need to haul. Well, our friends at Aluma Trailers, they've got you covered. Their trailers are built by a hardworking team in Bancroft, Iowa, right here in the good old USA. They have models for all of your hauling needs, from ATV and UTV trailers to snowmobile, motorcycle, car trailers. And, well, basically, if you need to haul it, they have a trailer to tow it. Trust me when I say that Aluma Trailers tow gear like a dream. Their trailers are constructed out of lightweight, strong, corrosion-resistant aluminum, and they're 100% maintenance-free. Plus, they come with an industry-best 5-year warranty. Visit alumaklm.com to find a trailer that fits your needs. onX Hunt continues to revolutionize the digital mapping world that we live and hunt in. Their maps are updated regularly to provide almost real-time satellite imagery. What does that mean for you and I? Well, it means that you can be sitting in your vehicle in Minnesota and check on the habitat and crops in your favorite North Dakota fields. They've also updated their 3D mapping, and you can still get the same detailed satellite images from the past. Speaking of using onX in your vehicle, their maps work right in the dash of your hunting rigs. No more holding your phone while driving and scouting. All the same layers on your phone show up right on the dash of your truck. These are just a couple of the many features that onX Hunt has upgraded to ultimately make us all better scouters and better hunters. If you've never tried onX Hunt, I think now is a great time to give it a try before your next hunt. Download their free 7-day trial and test it for yourself at onxmaps.com. Always know where you stand with onX Hunt.
America's greatest pheasant hunting experience awaits you in Aberdeen, South Dakota. So many birds, so little time, so many memories. Come for the adventure, return for the tradition. They have so many dog-friendly and hunter-friendly hotels, thousands of acres of public land, and the Aberdeen Pheasant Coalition public lands. Hunt Aberdeen, South Dakota. Request your free hunting guide at huntfishsd.com. That's huntfishsd.com.
So is it you have to have dogs over there to hunt?
Typically,
Period,
yeah,
I think,
typically, because it's all sort of driven type hunting, right? So
is that kind of strange then when you hunt in America and
yeah,
it's the
really
exact
different,
opposite?
totally different, right? And I've seen everything. I mean, I've been on, one extreme with the kind of the bear hunt with the dogs, and then on the other extreme, I've been on like deer hunts in the Finnish archipelago, which are the little islands just off the coast. Where they raise a lot of potatoes, and they have a big festival in May, like a spring festival. And one of the dishes that they eat to celebrate is new potatoes. So they raise those typically before the normal crop of potatoes comes. So they're quite valuable. I think the farmers get sort of 5 or 8 times what they'd get for standard potatoes.
So you
having
just celebrate the first harvest?
Yeah. So and the coming of spring.
Huh.
You know, so what they don't want are these roving deer going through
Eating them.
and eating them. So we went out and hunted them, and what was interesting, you had when the guys showed up with the dogs, they were these very small, like wire-haired dachshunds, which when you've seen, you know, a giant burly Finnish guy with a wire-haired dachshund on the end of his leash with a little hunting vest and a GPS transmitter, just like, you know, we use here.
Yeah.
But the dog's about 12 inches high.
How many dogs would they let out?
Oh, like 4 or 5.
Okay.
And the job is for them, they'll go into the woods and just get the deer moving. You know, and that's the job, right? Then they're not doing anything other than just making a ruckus and getting game start.
Dogs are having the time of their lives, I'm sure.
They're running their little legs off.
Yeah.
You know, and
are they yipping? Yipping? Or do they
no,
hear those ones?
I mean,
or
it's a decent bark, but you know, I mean, obviously sort of scaled down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's effective. You know, it gets them up and it gets stuff moving. You know, the other thing that's really different there is the ethics of actually shooting game, because
I wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, it's completely okay to shoot game that's on the move.
Because you've got a dog that'll track it.
Yeah.
Right? And my understanding is you can't shoot big game unless you have a dog that you can recover your game with.
I think that's probably accurate, yeah. So it's just it's 180 degrees different from what we're used to here. You know, we work a lot, obviously, at GAIM with, you know, the hunter education groups.
Mm-hmm.
And there, you know, we have simulations where the deer is going to stop, and you've got to kind of make your decision on when is the right time. You know, so this is, I mean, it's 180 degrees, completely different.
So did you have access to public lands over there to hunt on?
Yeah. So the rules, certainly in Finland, where we did most of my hunting, it's very open to publicly, you know, all land being accessible to public for shooting. So it's only within certain metrics of houses that you can't hunt. But yeah, I mean, pretty much. The other thing that's really fascinating to me is you don't see as much of a divide between urban and suburban views on hunting, right? You go down into the main city in Helsinki and go into a restaurant, you are more likely to find a game type meat on the menu than you are perhaps a chicken or a steak.
What would some of the game be?
Like reindeer, elk, which, you know, they call elk, what we call moose. You know, so they'll have whole
that a hunter harvested and then can sell there.
Yeah, so interesting that
so the restaurant owner might be a hunter that goes out and harvests?
Might well be, or he's, you know, like the deer hunts we were doing on the archipelago, that was a co-op of farmers. They had a cooperative abattoir. So at the end of the hunt, all the animals were gathered in one place. And they do actually a really nice little ceremony at the end of the hunting day where everything that they've harvested is laid out on ferns with like a little fire on each corner. And everybody gathers around and then gives thanks for everything they've harvested. So it's got some nice traditions about it.
So then if there's that much value in the meat, it makes me think that just like here in America, we want the best habitat possible. We want to take care of the birds and the big game and the deer and all the creatures because we value that meat.
Yeah.
I would feel like even though they value those new potatoes and they don't want them eaten, that they would also say, yeah, but we also still want there to be deer here, right? Because there's a lot of value in that meat, especially if there's financial value
because they
outside of just your own consumption.
They can sell it to the restaurants.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not caught up in bureaucracy quite as much. So they can, you know, then take what's been harvested on their farm and just go direct to the restaurants with it.
But not on public lands.
Yeah, same with public lands.
You would think there would be nothing left on public land then.
But there, I mean, it's, you know, the thing about Finland, there's a huge concentration of the population lives around a couple of the big cities. And then there is vast swaths of the countryside that are relatively lightly inhabited.
Have you been in Wyoming?
No, I haven't, but
See,
I
there's
imagine it's
there's a
probably
perfect
sort of
thing.
something
Yes.
like that, right?
A ton of
Yeah.
public land, and not. I mean, there's cities
Yeah.
in each state that we have here in the country, but similarly, you got a lot of expansive
Yeah.
open areas, but you still don't want to take too much game off
Yeah.
of there. You know, it's managed, and there's this responsibility that we have as hunters.
Yeah.
Here's your limit. Do you guys have limits over there
there's,
too?
I mean, it's all strictly. There's a lot of things that are done that they're very process driven. So, you know, to get your hunting license, you have to go shoot a moving moose test where they literally have a target that is, you know, kind of a side profile of a moose.
And it's on the move.
And it moves at a certain speed.
How does it
and
do that?
It's on tracks. It's like on little railroad tracks.
Like a cardboard cutout?
Yeah. And they roll it across at a certain speed from one butt covering it to another butt, certain distance at a certain speed, and you have to hit targets within the rings that are drawn onto the moose to qualify to get your license.
What else is different about qualifying to get a license over there? Because here in America, we have hunter safety training, which you're obviously learning a lot about now, working with game and how that is playing into it. But,
for sure.
And we'll talk about that. But I'm just curious because there's a lot that we have in America here. I mean, yes, you have to pass a driving test.
Yeah.
I think people should pass a boating test personally. if you're out on the lake,
I would agree with that. Working on the lake,
exactly. But I also think hunter safety is a requirement in most states after 2 years of apprentice. Hannah, you passed it. I passed it when I was, I think, 11 years old. So 30 years ago, I did that. But I feel like we aren't as strict here about it as other countries. And I think you can speak
I think
to
that's
that.
true. I think, you know, if you look at the way Finland works with their hunt licenses, you know, not everybody gets a license for everything they want. They're administrated by hunting and shooting clubs.
Okay.
So not that there isn't sort of a DNR element to it, but areas and the quotas are given and the licenses are given to the hunt club, and it's up to the hunt club to then decide who gets what. Right?
Is that based on money and status?
No, not so much. I mean, I think they're a little fairer about it than that. So you know, you don't just get the same five people getting all the tags every year. It's done in a more democratic way than that.
Okay.
You know, and the hunt clubs, they're great because they do promote the hunting safety, and they make sure that the members of that club are taught and that they administer the test. So it's almost like a peer group regulating you. So I think that actually works pretty well.
Huh. So you fell in love. You moved to America.
Yep.
And then you went pheasant hunting at some point here, right? Because you're a bird hunter now.
I am.
What
a
was
bird
that
hunter.
like for you the first time you went pheasant hunting and they didn't get scared to you? You had to go find
it was
them.
really interesting. Actually, I think the first real big hunt I did was a Pheasants Forever hunt that they put on in South Dakota. And it was an interesting 2-day hunt. And Beretta, obviously, a big contributor to Pheasants Forever. So it was kind of a partner's hunt. And day one was farm birds, and day two was wild birds. And there's a difference, eh?
There is a very
big difference.
Yeah,
Big
so
difference,
that was like, you know, day one there was some good old heavyweight pheasants having some trouble getting up in the air.
Yeah.
You know, and day two, you know, they were gone a lot quicker, and the shots were a lot more difficult, and you had to be a lot more careful. So it was a fascinating first sort of exposure to pheasant hunting here. I mean, I was happy. I had a very, very nice 20 gauge.
Okay.
It just fit me like a glove, and I could shoot really well with it. And I was pretty happy that I was carrying that all day and not, you know, the extra couple of pounds of a 12 gauge. But you know, it was great watching people work with their dogs. Right. That to me, you know, I've always been a dog person. So just watching people work their dogs and how they would react. And different types of dogs, right? All sorts of different things. I think that hunt had Labradors on it, had, German Shorthairs on it. One guy brought a golden retriever. There was literally a Westminster dog show on.
So how did you
display
end
out
up
in
with
the
the
field.
Spignoni out of the deal?
Oh, the Spinoni? Yeah. So I'd done some hunting in Italy with Bracco Italianos, and I just think they're about the best looking dog. Very hound-like looking
They
dog.
are beauties,
Absolutely
yeah.
love them. So decided a few years ago, what I need to add to my mix here is I need to have my own dog. And which is interesting because I live in the suburbs, right? So that was going to be its own set of challenges. So I ended up calling around a number of Bracco breeders, and people either didn't have dogs available or they wanted their dogs to show. And I'm about as far away from a show dog person. I'm sure it's very rewarding. It's not for me. So
You want a hunter.
yeah. And I live in a crazy house with 3 teenagers, and there's a lot going on, and I'm not spending my weekends at dog shows, to be honest with you. So I ended up talking to a breeder after I'd gone kind of around the bazaars a little bit. I ended up talking to a breeder in Michigan named Amy March, and she raised both. She had Braccos and Spinonis. And she said, well, where do you live? What's your house like? What are you going to do with the dog? This, that, and the other. And she guided me more onto the Spinoni. They hunt a little closer. She said they're not quite so dramatic, So I went with her recommendation. I waited for a puppy. She had a litter. I think it was 13. There was like a million of them. And, it came down to choice of like 2 or 3 puppies. And there was one that was just the rambunctious one who was going to be in front of everything. And I'm like, my house is not a quiet house with all the kids and everything else. I'm like, I don't need a timid dog. So we ended up driving up to Michigan, picking up this puppy when he was 8 weeks old. And we started him. I took him up to a trainer up in Pennsylvania, I think when he was 12 weeks.
Okay.
And we started him off on chucker, and just getting his prey drive going and doing the real basics. But what was fun for me, I thought, was, I live about 2 hours from Pennsylvania, so I had to drive there. I'd go every other Friday. And so to keep him occupied and to keep the training going, kind of in the week, between weeks, I would come home with a plastic bag that I wrote homework on. And it was a dead chucker, and it lived in the fridge. And my wife was horrified the first time she opened the fridge to see. She's like, "What's in this bag marked homework?" And there was a slightly mangled chucker in it.
Nothing, honey.
Yeah,
Don't open it. Don't eat it.
So I would go up and take my dog up to a big park in Alexandria where everybody kind of takes their dogs, right next to the high school where I drop off my kids. And I would work with him there, with like a pheasant wing and with this chucker. And this thing's frozen, I'm throwing it for him and we're doing all this stuff. And, there's people up there with their balls and their frisbees and their labs. And, people would occasionally come over and be like, what is that you're throwing? All the dogs seem really interested in it. And I'd show them, and the look of horror is this, it's slightly chewed, one eye hanging out, slightly broken leg, mess of semi sort of thawed chucker. But it was effective, and
you got yourself ultimately a bird dog out of the deal.
Absolutely game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our listeners, they have dogs, they chase birds, they get it. We talk about training all the time and just the love of working with your dog and being out there with your dog. And every interview I've ever done, everyone says they're out there for the dog. The bird hunting that we have here is special because it's a partnership with your dog, and it's special. And Hannah, I mean, you've watched Millie do this, and fingers crossed, Millie might be pregnant.
We should have let Hannah reveal it.
Sorry. And Millie might be
pregnant.
Yeah.
Boom.
What do you think the chances are?
Pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty high.
Could you by chance pull up Crosby's video and hold it up to your microphone and describe what's happening? So Crosby is our friend Tony Jones' lab, and Crosby and Millie was in heat ovulating or what do you?
Yep.
It last week. So the process began to let them have their time together, and they spent a day or two together. And as they were driving away, this is Crosby staring out the window, out the back. Play the video.
It never gets old. Poor guy.
Driving away. That was the video of Crosby.
That's
Poor
epic.
Crosby.
Oh, I know. That is just like...
He's
My
drunk in love.
My love.
He's
If he could speak
broke
and say,
his heart.
come find me, my love. Oh my goodness. Oh. So anyway, we think Billy might be.
Phillip, this is what you have to deal with at the office on a daily basis.
It's different from my office day. I'll say that, but only slightly.
I don't know if we just had an HR violation there or not. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Francie's probably seen the video.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think that's
So
allowed.
let's get. We
Yeah.
want to play some games.
Yeah.
We want to do some
Yeah.
shooting. I'm fascinated by your story because I'm really fascinated to hear other people's journeys to where they get and where they are now. And so you're here now. You work for GAIM, and that's GAIM. Virtual reality is the world that you're in right now. So you went from real, shotguns and rifles with Beretta. And how long have you been with GAIM?
I joined them in July last year, so almost coming up on a year.
Almost a year. And they're originally an offshoot of Aimpoint,
Yeah,
right?
they're a sister company to Aimpoint. And that's kind of where the idea for GAIM sort of spawned, right? So originally was developed to teach people how to shoot red dot optics on firearms.
Okay.
Especially like with law enforcement, as people were transitioning and putting, departments were putting optics on their duty weapons for the first time, right? So it was a good simulation to teach people how to go through using something that they hadn't used before. From there, it kind of morphed into something that was used at trade shows, kind of on a giant screen. If you'd been to NRA show, if you'd been to SHOT Show, you probably would have seen they built a hunting tower and had people shooting on almost like a big screen.
Okay.
And from there, it was developed into the Meta Quest headset, which is where it is today.
Which is what we have sitting right here.
Yeah, and it's great because it's it's compact and it's portable, and you're not trying to take a big screen somewhere.
Although we do have Hannah casted with her set onto this screen behind us. So we're going to watch her.
It's going to get
she's
real for Hannah.
Yeah.
I think,
Okay,
so there's obviously the teaching aspect of it, but there's also just like the real fun of it too.
There is. I mean, ultimately the goal is for everybody to be a better shooter. That's the common goal that I think, we have with the conservation groups, we have with Hunters Ed, with everybody, right, who's in the sport. We want everybody to get better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you've been like me shooting, 40 years or more, or especially with people starting out, right? It's giving kids, I mean, especially, kids that are 12, 14, they already know how to use the headset. I often at these different events that we're at, I would talk to parents and I'm like, if you have a teenager, it's a 50% chance you own a headset already.
So my
my
kids are a little bit young and they had never worn a
Yeah.
VR headset before, which was kind of like a big, that's a big deal to put that thing on because you're taking them out of our world and you're putting them into
It's kind of crazy the first time you put it on.
It's a
It
wild
is.
experience, isn't it? That you can be knowing that you're standing in a room, but actually everything tells you you're standing on an island surrounded by water and there's ducks flying around you. Doesn't seem quite like it takes
or
a minute to process.
I'm sitting in a deer stand, and when you look down at your
Yeah.
feet, you can see your feet, but you're on a deer stand, a rickety old deer stand in the
It's
woods.
kind of
Yeah.
freaky. Like I look down and you're up and you're like, it still feels like you're high up when you're looking down. I kind of got
And
that
I'm afraid
weird.
of heights, so I'm like, can we lower this stand a little bit? Can we bring this one down a little bit? Yeah, so it does. And full disclosure, that was the first time I had ever put a VR headset on.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever put the Meta headset on. One of our videographers here has it, and he plays in our in one of our other studios here. And I watch him and I'm like,
He does the Beat Saber thing. Where he's like, if you don't know what that is, I'm gonna have to find a clip and put it on here.
I actually have a video of him. He doesn't got recording him. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I put it on. And then I think, if you've ever been to any bar in the Midwest, probably the country, Big Buck Hunter. That's one of those games that people play.
Game, right?
Legendary game. So this is kind of like Big Buck Hunter on steroids because it takes it to just a whole nother level. You're in it.
You are. I mean,
you're not going to get run over by the boar, but he's coming for you. Like
there is in the bear simulation that you can be chased by the bear. If you haven't put the bear down, it will come after you. And,
you ever been charged by the bear?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we had one poor man. I think he was in his 70s who just fell over backwards in the stand because the bear was coming for him. And he was lying on his back laughing. His wife was scolding him. I told you not to put that on in the first place. And I'm like, how did we lose control of this? But it's brilliant. I mean, it is, it's that level of realism. And especially when the bears get up close, you could hear them breathing. You could hear, everything about it.
Okay. So Hannah, grab this gun here. I'm going to have Hannah. She's putting the headset down. She's going to put this on. We're going to see it, right? So go ahead and grab it. Here we are.
Yeah,
we've casted this onto the TV screen behind us. So Hannah's putting the headset on right now, and you're going to see a lot of options here when you enter. It's actually kind of like it could be dizzying if you're not wearing it. If she's moving a lot because she's spinning all over right now.
Yep.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, so she just went out of the boundary. She's back in the boundary
now. You create this virtual boundary.
Basically, it's almost like an invisible rope on the floor, and that's so that you don't, if you step outside
Hold on, Hannah, don't choose one yet. Okay, you've got a rifle.
Yep.
You've got a rifle here. So slowly scan to your right. Let's look at some of our options here.
Yeah,
there's
got
a
different
winter
boar scenarios.
Boars. You can hunt stag, bear valley, Nordic moose, whitetail deer trail, hilly forest, grassy meadow. Those are all big game deer hunts.
Yep.
There's a pigeon, mallard, high pheasants. Keep going. Let's keep going. I feel like we want to see you. Which one? Let's do a shotgun hunting.
I would do the mallards because that's a
let's
great,
let's
great
do a
simulation
mallard
to start with.
Yep.
It will transform itself magically as soon as you click on it.
Okay. So also, Hannah, any chance we can put a headset back on Hannah here? Big Al. Let's try to put a...
Okay, click on the top
one.
Click on the top one, which is the over. You get a choice of over, under, or semi-auto.
Okay. All right, we're going to... so she's hunting. The duck hunt is already on
As
here.
you can see, as you turn around.
Okay, does that gun feel like it's fitting you right now, Hannah? Because we can adjust the stock on you. All right. Okay. Oh, this could get
she's already started shooting.
No, we try it. Let's try it anyway. If we break something...
Yes!
There you go.
Oh my God.
It's a duck massacre going on.
I'm in her space.
Completely lost control of this now.
All right, we got her. Okay, she's mic'd up. And you got the headset on.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, Hannah, do you feel like the stock needs to be adjusted on you? It's okay if one gets away. We're not scoring you yet.
I don't know. I think I'm good.
Do you have a good, when you shoulder it, do you see down the rib? Do you have a good, proper view down the rib? Okay, then that's what matters.
Here's what's also funny. Look at my dog.
Yeah.
So as soon as she picks up the gun, no matter, every time I touch it, my dog is right here. She thinks we're really doing this. Okay, you're following the bird. And she takes a shot. It's a red dot.
I was ahead.
Right.
No, you weren't. You missed. You were just behind. I can see it. It's showing us.
You were in front of that.
She was in front? Too far?
You see, because...
I was right below.
So one of the things I really like about GAIM for people who are first-time shotgun or inexperienced with shotguns, biggest problem that you have is they miss, right? They know they're going to miss.
Yeah.
But they don't know where they're missing.
Right.
So you can see in this scenario, it's just like in the clays as well. When Hannah pulls the trigger in that rare moment that she misses, like that one, and that one,
that rare moment,
and she got it that time. You could see it actually.
Okay, you can't spin too many times. You got the headset wrapped around you.
I forgot.
Yep. You get immersed in this pretty quick and forget about everything. Yeah.
So you see, it'll freeze.
It'll show a red dot. Now she's shooting like her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it puts that red dot of where the shot pattern is, but then it freezes a ghost outline of the target where it was at the moment you pulled the trigger. So
How
you
many shots do I
immediately
have
start.
left?
Look down at the ground. You can
18.
right there.
Accuracy 25%.
See,
Shots
so you
12.
can. It's cool because you
Winning
can
shots
see all this.
1. Killed
Yeah.
3.
Yep.
18 left.
Yep. Yeah, you get a box of 30 shells.
Here they
Which is
come.
pretty-
Maybe just wait on it a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, and
let-
keep the gun moving. There you
there
go.
you
Yeah.
go.
Green dot.
There you
Yeah,
go.
good shot.
I think, yeah, here come, let it wait. Oh, no, she has no patience.
I don't. Ooh.
Oh, you're out of the boundary.
you're
Hannah.
walking out
Walk
the
back
boundary.
into the boundary. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That one was
Oh,
down.
Nice shooting. Your average is going way up right now. No, it's back down.
Not anymore.
It's
It's
back
not.
down.
Hannah, turn. Yep. Hannah's gonna break some.
No, for sure. Absolutely, Daisy.
Well, sorry, I'm
She's shaking. My
excited.
dog is shaking right
You know
now.
what's
She's like,
funny
just
about this
watching
is the sound on the headset is turned down right now, so you can't, because you normally hear all the ducks. You get the full audio experience too,
Mhm.
right? And like when we were at Pheasant Fest,
Yeah,
people, ton of dogs there. Nice shot.
nice shot.
When with the sound up, with the gun going off, everybody's dogs were stopping and like looking around. Nice shot.
Wow, you're in fuego.
No.
Oh, never
you
mind. I shouldn't
jinxed
have said
her.
anything. You got that one still. You still get it. You still got it. The one thing I think about when she's 0 for 3 there. The one thing, so like in this scenario, I feel like when it casts this on,
Yeah,
it feels like it's further away. Like the cast isn't quite.
you don't see what you see.
You don't. I feel like you see more. Maybe because
You get a bigger picture, maybe.
you get a wider view
You-
once
you-
you're in your
I
headset.
think the other thing is when you've got the headset on, you're really focused. So you're not looking
That could be.
at the whole picture around you, right? You're focused at basically in and around where your shotgun is pointed.
Mhm. Look at her.
Don't take that shot. Don't take that shot. Wait. Now.
Nice. I see. That's also good too to kind of like
Yeah.
when to take the shot, when not to.
Yeah. So this is one of the. I mean, obviously, it's
2
great.
left.
Great fun seeing this thing cast. But also, if you're helping somebody learn for the first time,
Mhm.
you can see what they're seeing, so you can give them kind of real time help.
With my kids, I'm adjusting where they're looking down the
Yeah,
barrel. I
right.
want to make sure that they've got that right line of sight on
Yeah.
there too, which is pretty cool to be able to adjust it. And I adjust my shot
Yeah.
for me versus them. It's a different aim. It's a
Yeah,
different
I
view
th-
looking down the barrel.
That's when you get into the nitty gritty of game, right? I mean, you can go into a sub menu. We always tell people that what you were talking, nice shot. What we were talking about with making sure that the gun fits.
Oh.
All right. So she just fired 25.
Yeah, we'll see a We'll
shots.
see
Right there.
There you
Okay.
go. There's the
Hold that
reality.
still right there. 36% accuracy. You did increase.
That's not bad.
You wounded 3. You missed 16. You killed 11 ducks.
Okay,
Out of 30 shots
Last
fired.
time I killed 2. So
there you go.
this is definitely
I actually would
I mean,
like
you're
to
not
see.
calling for pizza now. You're,
I kind of want to
there's ducks on
see
the
Al
menu.
shoot next.
yes.
I can get up there and shoot.
Okay. But I do want to change though first. Let's put a trap range up.
Okay.
So Hannah, turn down to your
Yeah.
right. Look down. And to your right.
No, turn
no,
around till
turn
you
around.
see.
Home.
Look down.
Down.
Look down now.
See the home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot the home.
There you go.
Now you're gonna go choose.
You'll need to.
What
do
are some of the sporting?
Yeah, so
courses?
you'll need to shoot. You'll need to go to the home button one more
So
time.
Hannah, look down. Kind of at the
yeah,
see the
you
home.
see the little home thing. Click on
Is that
that.
home?
Yes, click on that. So that'll take you to hunting
Whoa.
or sports shooting or clay. So click on clay right there.
Sports shooting?
No, clay. Right. So now you see you've got a bunch of choices here from American
Okay.
Trap,
Competitive
Olympics.
trap, skeet, 5-stand.
Yeah.
What about to the right? Look to your right.
then
What's
you-
that one? I haven't done that one. Sim Pro.
That,
clay
you can
pigeons.
basically lay out your own clays range.
From my personal
Oh,
experience,
gotcha.
the clays are a lot harder than the
Way-
ducks.
I agree.
way harder.
I agree. Yeah.
I would
so
go
that's
to-
why I wanted to set it up
Go
and
to
then have Al
American.
shoot this
Go to
one.
American Trap.
Oh,
Wait,
God.
am I going again?
Do
Or is
American
it-
Trap. This is about as standard as you can get right here. Yeah. You go again.
Then I'll go after you, Hannah. And the cool thing is,
just go singles, and then below that you'll see a play button down the
you
bottom.
can also do you can
Yeah, down the
choose
bottom.
whether
There
you
you
want to
go.
semi-auto, pump action. Like if you
Yeah,
want,
you can choose your
you
shotgun.
can have
here.
rifles
Yeah.
and other
All
and
right,
like
so
bear
you-
hunting.
you're ready. It's coming.
Oh.
Oh, miss.
All right, you're not shouldering it very well though.
I know. I
You
can't
go
really,
lean in. Yeah.
I kind of need. It's a little big, but that's okay.
Well, it's a little. We're
Well, you
kind of
can also-
modifying it for this show because you got to tighten
got a
that down to
headset
fit
on.
a
I'm
little
sorry,
bit,
Alex has
and
a
you got
big
the
head.
headset. You got
Okay,
Al's
see?
big.
I'm just trying to produce the show, man.
Oops.
This is so. It
I
is.
can't even see it.
There it goes. I think
I was
you're
above
maybe
that.
she might be sitting a little bit far back on the range. I think you can adjust up,
You,
right?
you could do a bunch of things on here, right? So you can adjust the shot pattern. So basically, you can change the choke size.
Miss.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get 5 shots and then you move to the next station.
Oh for 5, Hannah.
Travis, I don't want to hear it.
Remember when
I'm
she
just
was
pointing
making
out
fun of
stats.
me the first time I
Yes.
played?
Go ahead, Al. Here's your chance. You're behind.
No,
Yeah.
she's a boss's daughter. I
Yeah,
can't
so
do that.
keep
don't-
the gun moving.
You can kiss Scott's
Yay!
spot. You don't
There
need
you
to kiss
go.
Hannah's.
See? There you
Yeah,
go.
There you go. Okay,
Just
now
make
you're
sure-
dialed in.
Okay, now I'm dialing.
Yep.
Right.
It takes a minute though to Yep. There you go. Oh,
That was close.
That was closer.
You are close.
You're still aiming a little behind, which I think is a common thing for a lot of us. Oh,
Well, you-
nice.
Nice.
You know, the biggest common mistake people make is that they follow the target right up until they pull the trigger and they stop the gun moving when they shoot.
Yep.
That's the most common mistake, whether it be virtual or
Hey, Travis, that
Yeah,
was
the-
3.
Yeah. It's not how you start; it's how you finish.
yeah.
Go again.
Yes.
Go
Okay,
again.
Go again.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You see here, you could even turn an audio on, so you could actually call the birds rather than having a countdown. There you go.
Look at you. See,
Look at this, Alex.
practice leads to great things.
Oh.
You
mind,
were
don't look at that
under. You were under that.
Don't worry, the camera was pointed right at the TV.
Ooh.
Under.
I was under.
Just keep the gun moving.
She fires.
Holy
she
in
misses.
front.
Yeah, and one more. And Al, remember when she
Not
said
even
that
close.
she's the got 3, and now what
She
did
was
she
on
just
fire,
get?
she
Yeah,
I
said.
was feeling myself.
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hey,
Okay,
Trav,
now I'm getting
yeah.
embarrassed.
move your head.
Am I in the way?
Your big old head's in the way.
Okay.
Ooh. All these
Lot of red.
reds,
Lot of
come
red.
on.
Hannah, a lot of red.
Oh, even another red.
All right.
Come on.
You know what though? It is you're missing on the same place each time.
So, what would you tell her to do right now?
I think you're stopping the gun moving when you're pulling the trigger. Make sure you keep it moving. Okay, that one I don't even know what you did right there.
Don't look at that one.
Yeah, that was like
There you
And
go.
in all fairness, everybody that's watching, she knows that people are going to watch this, so she might be a little nervous in her defense.
well. And the other thing
Alex.
is right. It's
You don't have to kiss up to her, Al.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes, but people put this on and they
Come
think it's
on.
just going to be like a video game and I'm just going to get everything. But this is real shooting. It's
Mhm.
hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
It is
not, It's
hard.
not easy.
Yeah, there you go. You're gonna have following through. Your gun, Hannah.
Yeah.
Follow through as you follow the clay. Keep going with it, and stay ahead. You're leading and following with the bird. There you go. There you
Yay!
go. Nicely
Woo!
done. Okay, Al.
Ooh, my turn?
Yeah. But she
All
doesn't
right.
want to put it down now.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
This
No,
is
I'm
what
so ready
happens,
to
right?
put it
Now
down.
all of a sudden there's a fight over the
Mhm,
game
mhm.
system.
I like
Um,
the waterfowl. I have
yeah.
a better chance for that.
It's a really good starter
Yeah.
because it does teach you some good fundamental. The targets are relatively predictable.
My kids like the deer, the big
Oh, yeah.
game hunts.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool too. Al, why don't you go on a big game hunt, okay? All right. Hannah, you grab Al's headset. He's gonna wear yours. And yep, I'll hold this for you.
It's like a whole
This is-
wardrobe.
this
It's like
is-
a wardrobe change.
Right, look at him. He's very dramatic.
Yeah,
He's
I've known that about him.
Yeah. He's
Since
very-
the first day we met.
Since the
Yeah.
very first
Yeah.
minute.
Careful for that. The wires over there. There's a lot of wires going
Yeah,
on
back in
here.
back in my station.
Yeah.
It's all right. The one is just pointing at Travis on the screen
Okay,
right
Al. You're gonna go. What do you want to do?
now. Maybe the bear hunting.
Do
I
the
feel
bear-
like that
do the
one-
bear.
do the
hunt.
bear.
That one was
Okay.
probably the easiest big game.
Yeah.
The other
So
ones
let's
are
not
hard.
do the big game. Let's give him something hard.
Oh God. Okay.
We want to be able to laugh at him.
God,
and
I
other
hope he
people.
misses.
What do
Yeah.
you want him to do, Hannah?
Miss.
Hey,
Miss.
Hannah, do you see that that slider right next to the under the orange one? The slider right next to where my headset
This
cord
is a
is.
This
true
one?
producer. Slide that up.
Push it up to where the other ones are.
Yep.
Keep
Keep
going.
going.
Keep
There
right
you go.
there. Perfect.
All right. Now, when you talk, everyone can hear you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, Alex, don't miss.
What should I do?
Philip,
Boars?
you pick something
Why,
that'll
why don't you
embarrass
go
him.
down to
Please.
go to Great Meadow? That's
right.
gonna
grass
yeah,
meadow.
That's fallow deer.
How much play do I got? A little bit. All right.
Now,
Which one
pick
do you want me to do?
top
Hunting rifle?
And that just gives you a few safety rules. Don't shoot the dogs. Don't, because there is safety built in, right? So you can't fire over horizons.
Yep.
You can't shoot at hunting dogs. You can't flag other people. All the things that you shouldn't be doing are reinforced in the system. So,
and you can take the red dot off, which I thought was cool.
You can configure to have sights, just open sights, or you can.
Oh God, Travis
all
has
sorts of stuff.
the really zoomed in one. I remember
he
when we were
has.
playing. You had a super zoomed in one before.
I don't mess around, Al.
See, it's kind of like freaky. You
Yep.
just look down and
Yeah.
Don't fall out of the stand. That's a miss. You wounded it.
Trash.
Okay.
Look at this guy. Slow your move because
Now
we're
I'm-
trying to watch you.
right,
It's,
so-
you're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
make us
giving me a
dizzy.
headache.
I know.
And by the way, there is a button you can push in this menu that will make the deer sensitive to your movement.
Oh.
So
Where's
here,
that?
that's look behind. Keep looking around.
Right
Up
here?
there, we see with it. Yeah, that press that.
Pointing it right at me.
Sorry.
So now, if you move around a lot, they're just going to run off. There you go. Good
There
shot.
you
There
go.
Nice shot. So
Well, when they're
he's
not
when
moving,
he's
it's
looking
easier.
through that. See how we're getting kind of like a side view
Yeah.
of what he's seeing.
That was a good
He's
shot.
looking right through the scope and putting it right on,
Right.
which is very. This is where I feel like
So can I change the stand? Like, what is this?
Yes, you can. You can kind of change.
Oh, whoa.
Now you can.
oh,
now-
it's telling you distances.
Oh,
There you go.
Whoa.
So this is where I think, when we were at Pheasant Fest, there was a gentleman
Yeah.
that owns a couple of hunting lodges in
Yeah.
South Dakota, and he came up and he's like, I need 3, one for each of my lodges.
yeah.
Because after the hunt, his buddies and other hunters want to get around and heckle each other. He's got a big screen,
Yep.
and so they can watch. And now everybody's got to take a turn. This is where the big buck hunter game part of it comes in.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's fun. It's engaging.
Mhm.
It's the only shooting sport you can do with a drink in
Al,
your hand.
you're moving.
Sorry.
You're moving too
I'm-
much. You're
I'm
scaring
nervous,
the
Trav.
deer.
I'm nervous.
You have to slow down, just like in real life.
Be patient.
Epic. fail.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you see that little question
Can't
mark?
shoot- you
Yeah, they
can't
all
shoot.
ran off because
I
you
know, I was
moved.
looking.
You move.
It's a question mark.
They probably smelt him too. They got downwind.
There was actually a little.
Hey, I am
You're
a
not
little sweaty right now.
You're not supposed to shoot the fawns
yeah,
or the does.
no,
right?
actually,
It's kind of hard to
so
see, though.
so in
Here
Europe,
comes on. Here
'cause
comes
this
on.
is-
Al.
Yeah.
Just one in front.
yeah. So don't shoot that one.
Yeah, don't shoot.
Yeah, I see. I thought you were. Oh. Too low.
Yep.
Right in his butt.
Not a good shot.
Hey, I
His-
never claimed to
his
be a
stats.
hunter.
His stats are not going to be good.
Hey, you were heckling me, and it is a joy to
You
see
got
you
the
miss.
clay one.
I
Let
know.
me
That's
shoot
why I wanted
ducks.
to let you go first and then put him on.
You are the
Yep.
Can I
impulsive-
shoot? Can I shoot the foxes?
You in this one you can actually, yes.
Okay.
But good luck. I've seen you shoot the deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get me on
Get
that.
three
That's
tries
why
and you
was- that
still
was a-
didn't get it.
That
Oh
thing
my
was
gosh.
30 yards away. Oh, look at he's leaving.
I'm going to the mallard ones to
Wait,
beat
oh
Hannah's
my
score.
gosh.
Oh my god.
I have to assert my dominance.
You're so petty.
Maybe I am.
So, do you want to see which monitor he's on? Do you see how he was maneuvering that before? Let's make sure we get Al on
Press number 3.
press number 3.
That'll just be me.
Okay, here we go. Can you
Alright.
see him?
No.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, everyone,
Good job.
that
Oh, here he
Alex
comes.
plays this weekly. Weekly,
That could
he
be that.
practices.
He's always in my office, like,
Apparently
hey,
not-
what's that? And he makes
apparently
me
not
turn around,
recently,
and then he
though.
grabs this. Oh, look at him. He is missing like crazy. There's a hit.
Pokes his head
Oh,
in.
they're dropping. Okay. Slow down a little bit. Do not-
Sorry. It's kind of hard
That is
to,
one of the difficulties with the simulation than this one, right? Because it is 360 degrees around you, so you are.
He's
At least-
moving fast.
I mean-
I can even
yeah,
crouch
was
down.
I doing that?
I
Was I moving that fast?
yeah,
or-
I usually do that for more real life effect. I crouch down in the cattails there.
You know what would be cool if you could do like how the deer can sense you moving? If you could do it with the ducks where you have to like crouch down.
Mm-hmm.
Miss.
That's a miss. There's a hit. Al is giving Hannah a real run here. Nope. No. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't
That's a
see that
hard shot.
coming. You're behind it.
Oh, we got
He
it.
adjusted. Look at him go.
Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Told you. First time
Wow.
ever playing too.
Oh,
Yeah.
just the 75th time.
All right. You're
I
You're
think
doing
you
pretty
played
good.
more than Travis.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
I played more than
I
everybody
have to
else.
work. I got to get stuff
Yeah.
done around here. And I look out there
Same.
and here it comes. That's it. Oh, these are layups though. Hannah,
Yeah,
he
those
is
are-
getting
Yeah.
easy
what?
shots. They're flying right to him. They're not crossers. 5 at him in a row. Oh, he's on a heater.
Nice.
Okay. So what we're seeing for those listening is Al is sitting in a marsh surrounded by cattails and ducks are coming and flying left and right. A lot of them just came right at him.
Excuses.
That was a good shot.
That was a good shot.
That was a good shot.
Al,
So
I'm just going to tell you, I'm impressed
Thanks.
because I saw you the first time you did this.
It was horrible.
It was.
It was embarrassing.
It was.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed for him. And now look at how far he's come. I think, okay, so let's talk a little bit about what
Now
this...
he's getting greedy. Now he's
Well,
chasing
yeah,
that one.
he's getting greedy. While he finishes this round
he just
up-
ruined his entire average right
Yeah,
there
I
with that one
complimented
duck.
him.
Yep.
That's like when in Tin Cup when he just wanted it and just kept
Right,
dropping
just-
the ball
yeah.
and he kept
oh,
putting
there's
it
a
in the
table
water.
right there.
It sucks you in, right? That one bird you
Mhm.
just can't get.
Okay,
18 kill shots.
18. He was 60% accuracy.
That's pretty good.
You wounded 4.
It's not bad for a novice.
Not bad for Al.
He's not a novice though because he's played 75 times.
Yeah,
Player-
he
who's got
has
the-
played quite a bit.
So Trav, I think you have the high score.
That sounds about right.
That's
I think
definitely
that sounds
Travis.
about
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
right.
sure
20
these-
27 is a good.
These
27 out
two
of 30
are
is pretty
these
good.
3. Actually, these 4 are me. This one might be Scott.
Those
No,
4.
Scott's down here at the bottom.
Scott's probably deeper than 10.
Probably. He didn't even register. his
Yeah,
score,
there's
I
no
don't
way
think.
he even hit 10.
I don't think so. He was cursing a lot.
Do you want
Yeah.
me
And
to
then
do
I was
the-
like, what's all the ruckus? And I
So
look
that's
out
kind
and
of
there
like
he is.
real world duck hunting.
Real
right
world
there.
right
yeah.
there. Yep,
Shall
exactly.
I change it to the clays?
Yeah, go ahead and do some clays.
Hey,
Do a
hey,
sporting. Do a
and Hannah
sporting
has an
clay.
intern here with us, and she's running the board now.
Yeah,
so
we've
she's
got an
taking-
intern back
Woo!
here
You
as
click
well.
number 1. Nice.
Nice.
Let's do.
Sport
Clay.
shooting or clays?
Clay.
Okay. I didn't know if Trav, do you want to show the sport shooting?
We've already
Have
done
you already
clay.
seen sport shooting?
Sport shooting is your pistol stuff. So
Okay.
Can't you use the
you'll do
rifle though
that.
too?
you can.
Okay. Here
Well, we
go.
don't have to do it. I've just because like this.
Yeah,
one,
here you've got like IPSC, you've got Steel Challenge. It's all sort of more. You've got range builder in there. You can actually build your own ranges out and stuff. But that
So,
is more
there's
like
the-
black gun focused, really.
So, how are these systems being used in universities and states and different programs?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of different use, right, with different groups that we're working with. We work a lot with we see about 50% of the use of the scenarios in the US are the clay scenarios.
Okay.
So we partner with USA Clay Target. We partner with SCTP, which is the Scholastic Clays, group. So, I mean, if you think about working with youth, this is a great first step. So, sometimes going out, picking up that gun for the first time, it could be a little intimidating.
Mhm.
This kind of allows you to learn the safety rules. It allows you to get a good idea of what you're going to be seeing, within the confines of something that feels comfortable.
Sure.
So if you're working with, people that are literally handling firearms for the first time, you can go through a lot of it in the headset so that when they go out onto the trap field or the range or wherever it is they're
Sounds
going,
hard.
You're terrible.
they have a good idea
I'm shaky.
of what they're going to be looking at.
Steady your shot, Al.
Need to hold my breath. Like I do on Call of Duty.
Yeah. It's real deal.
I've never seen
So I tell
anybody
my
shoot a
kids,
Texas Star like that
Hold-
before.
Yeah.
I
He's
don't know.
He's one of one. Phillip.
Yeah.
He's
I
very
feel like we
unique.
need to put a
Okay, now you need to go back to the clays.
I feel like we need to put a hand grenade in there. For you.
No,
that would be pretty sweet.
If you're one of the lucky hunters that harvested your own tasty wild game this hunting season, then I want to personally congratulate you on your success. Well done. And if you want to make the most of all that hard-earned meat, then I recommend you head over to waltons.com. They have everything but the meat. That's their motto. They have all the tools to help you process and prepare your meat, like grinders, mixers, stuffers, slicers, smokers, grills, and seasonings. They have thousands of items in stock and ready to ship the same day. They've also recently launched their own dry curing cabinet and a whole line of chambered vacuum sealers, from large commercial-grade sealers to smaller handheld models. And let me tell you, they are awesome. This year, John Tremblay and his team at Waltons are really focused on adding new content to their Meatgistics library to help all of us hunters make the most of our meat. All of that can be found at waltons.com, and you can listen to their own weekly Meatgistics podcast too. I'm happy to call the hardworking team at Waltons my friends, and I believe they will treat you like one if you choose to trust them with your own meat processing needs. Find everything they have to offer at waltons.com.
We know the feeling. When you close your eyes, you're there. Wide open spaces, fresh air. You have big dreams. We also know there's uncertainty between you and your destination. There's the unknown. But we know how to get you there. We have been helping people like you find their way home for decades. We're Compeer Home, and we know the way. To get started or find out more, visit us at compeerhome.com or by calling 833-986-8001. Compeer Home is a division of Compeer Financial, who is an equal opportunity provider and employer and an equal credit opportunity lender. Compeer Home Services, NMLS number 619731. Copyright 2025. All rights reserved.
Okay,
It's gonna be quicker.
Hannah, we're going to give one of these units away. You guys also, I know right now we are leading up to Father's Day, so I know you guys have a special that you're running on these units as well.
We do.
FD20 is the promo code.
Father's Day 20, FD20.
Okay, and that gets you 20% off.
20% off.
Where would they go to type in the
That would be
the code?
GAIM.com, GAIM.com. So go to GAIM.com.
Okay.
You know, you'll find the menus in there for all the different packages and different things you can buy. Because there is different hardware.
Yeah, so
right?
this is the adjustable.
So this is a great tool. This is the adjustable one. So if you're like a coach working with a whole bunch of different kids, you know, or people of different sizes, you can change the configuration of the gun, obviously, to adjust length of pull, comb height, and everything else. So you can make that work for a lot of different sized people.
Yep.
And I think, you know, the nice thing about this, I mean, you know, this hardware's, it's pretty realistic. It's made in Gardone in Italy. It's made by the same people who do make some of the stocks for Beretta.
Okay.
It weighs about 5 pounds.
It feels about like a shotgun.
Yeah,
the same way.
And we made it that way because, you know, obviously you've got the headset on, right? So it's not necessarily what you're seeing, because it could be a rifle, it could be a shotgun, depending on the scenario. But it's what you're actually touching. So your touch sensors are important. So
yeah, the trigger.
The
trigger pull is
it's pretty close.
Yep.
It's a metal trigger. You know, you've got proper wood checkering. So all the contact points of your body feel the realism. And we want to make it weighty. You know, at 5 pounds, it's probably a pound and a half, 2 pounds lighter than the average shotgun, but it swings the same. Right. So if we made, say, a cheap plastic stock that was really light, it wouldn't bear any reality to what it was like when you go out onto the trap range for the first time, you pick up your shotgun, or you go out pheasant hunting for the first time, you pick up your gun. So it's important that the hardware as closely mimics reality as possible, just like the software. So we make an adjustable stock like you have in your hand. We make a fixed one, you know, if you're just using it for yourself and you're going to fit. One of the things I think that's important when people do get the system is that all the rules that apply to a real gun apply to the GAIM hardware. So, you know, if you think you and I go out, or you and I, Hannah, go out and we pick up the same gun, we're going to fit it slightly differently. So that's also true of this system. So there is a small submenu that looks like a wrench and a screwdriver that is a gun fitting menu. And so when you get the system and you set it up for yourself, there is a stock with lots of arrows coming out, left, right, up, down, backwards and forwards and so on. And you move that gun around until you've got the perfect line down the rib. right? Till you've got that perfect sight picture. Same when you're setting it up as a rifle. And you can set these up and save them in your profile, so you're not doing this every time you put the system on. But making sure that the gun properly fits you is a key to being successful in shooting things within simulation, just like it's true in the real world, right?
Yep.
It's exactly the same phenomena. So
you're a little,
Someone's a little sweaty over there.
wow. It sounded like you were. Did you actually go out and run and walk through a marsh?
It feels like it. I'm really sad. Zoe,
Well, you guys are
Zoe
talking,
has
he's
to
like,
sit
I
right.
saw him out of the corner of my eye over
She
there.
has to sit right next to me while I feel like I smell
I feel
bad
like we
now.
should have put
Sorry,
him
Zoe.
actually made him wear duck hunting apparel.
I know,
I feel
that
like we
would've
missed an
been
opportunity.
I should have put on like some marsh wear clothing.
Yeah,
and
that
maybe
would have been great.
the pheasant hat.
Yeah.
Just not. I'm
Well, I
happy
didn't want
you're
you to
not wearing
sweat
a
in that
gray
hat. My
t-shirt.
wife made that hat. She painted that.
Yeah,
on
that
there.
probably
you
would've
don't
been
want
good.
his sweaty brown.
I don't want it.
It's a nice.
Sweating in
It's a
there.
nice painting, though, isn't it?
It is amazing.
Yeah, she's an artist.
Wow, that's really
I
cool.
married up for sure.
Yeah.
Back
We
to
all
the
did.
game. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then the headset is required though. So
Yeah,
this could
that's-
be something that somebody else already has, or you can get it.
that's the one thing we don't sell actually is the headset, right? So you know that is a Meta Quest, whether it be 2, 3, or 3S. 3 and 3S are the two current ones available. The system works on all of them. There's different ones for different budgets. Those you can find Amazon, Best Buy. They're the same price everywhere you go.
Okay, what's the
So-
best one to use?
So
I
I
most
think the
real.
the three. I mean, they all run. The operating system runs the same. I personally think the visual quality in the 3 is a little better. I find a little interference around the outside of your sort of peripheral vision in the 3S.
Okay,
But I got old eyes,
sure.
so it might not be the case for youth. It works perfectly. We've got a ton of people using 3S, and that's $249 versus $499. So
Big Al, what do you use for your games?
I do not have a Meta Quest.
Okay,
I really want one though.
okay.
why
Just
are
like
you
your
even in
dirt
this room?
bike.
Hey, I have
Okay.
a PC and an Xbox.
Okay. All right. Well, he's a gamer. I am a hunter,
Yeah,
but I thought this was pretty dang cool. So
You could tell
I
the
don't- I'm
difference.
asking-
yeah.
Well, I don't know a lot of the gaming consoles and things like that because
Because you get
I was-
outside.
I had the original Nintendo
Oh,
as a
I don't
kid.
just sit inside game all the time. I go outside.
When
Do you?
I go for bike rides. I go fishing. I just got back from up north.
I know we like
I know.
giving you a hard
I
time.
know.
But no, I seriously I asked these questions because I don't know. As soon as I pulled this headset out, I was like, "Oh, that's a Super number 1217." I was like, "Whoa, what is?"
Actually knew the part number.
He knew the part. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, "Put this on." Oh
Frightening.
man, wow.
Okay, let's clarify. I didn't know everything about it, but it only takes me about 5 minutes to figure it out. So
Yeah.
I mean, I already knew the VIN 5 minutes into it because we
Yeah.
were trying to figure something out. So.
I
Such a
said, "Al,
gamer.
turn this thing on, fire it up.
Yeah.
When you're shooting at ducks, come get me, and I'm gonna put it on."
It's
And
because
it was-
I'm a smart, educated young man, and
I
know
like
how
to
problem
surround
solve.
myself with smart people.
Yeah, you got
That
to
can take
keep
care-
around. I mean, they are very useful.
I am a very simple.
Yeah, how would you have
person.
put
My
this whole
wife,
thing together without me?
Yeah,
I would have probably not have succeeded.
Yeah, it would
I
have been
probably
tough.
would not have succeeded.
Yeah.
But you, Al, are one of one. Take that for what you want. No, I appreciate you.
I'm just gonna slowly turn this down.
Okay.
Womp womp.
Is there anything else that we missed about the unit here? I know we were laughing at my cohort over
well,
there.
I mean, I think there's different bits of the program that is useful for different people in their journey, their shooting journeys, right?
Yep.
So for people that are starting out, it's great fundamentals. There's good safety built in, and they can start to get feedback. I kind of go back to, you think about people learning to shoot shotguns for the first time. They know they're missing. They're not really quite sure where they're missing.
Mhm.
So this starts to give you immediate feedback, right? Because, the cardinal sin that most people go through a phase of is that they track the target right up until they pull the trigger, and that's when they stop moving the gun, and so they find themselves behind the target most of the time. So this will give them that visual reference immediately, and you start to develop good habits fairly early on, and it just builds your confidence. And it actually, the advantage of this virtual reality is it does train your eyes to pick up targets quicker. It's one of the advantages of it. And, it helps build muscle memory. So, that's great for people starting out. Now, I've been shooting for a long time, but, as I tell people, I have been shooting clays for many, many years, but I also have 3 active teenagers in my house. So they're all doing sports. So the time that I actually go out to the trap field is pretty rare. So I'll go shoot this for half an hour for a week, every night, but for a week before I go out. And that means I'm not spending the first 20 minutes knocking the rust out of my muscle memory. And because obviously, especially like the clays games, they are such a, muscle memory is such an important part of shooting clays.
Yep.
So it really helps you to build the mental picture of what you're looking for and the motor skills of doing the right thing. So I think, no matter where you are in that shooting journey, it will help you become better or more consistent.
Yeah, I think the first time I missed, I was surprised that it was spot on as to where I missed. And that was just a good reminder. And seeing that, I think, is really helpful too, to just remember, follow through, stay with it.
Yeah.
Where are you holding the gun on your cheek? And with my kids, when they pull up and shoot, I can, adjust their shoulder and where it's on there. And I remember my son Cash, when we were throwing clays last summer, he kept missing and missing in the frustration.
Yeah.
If I had this back then, I would have been able to let him see it and see what he was doing and talk through it here. I bet you the first time that we went out and shot then clays out at the gun club, he probably would have hit a lot sooner.
Because it's hard when your dad giving him feedback, right? It's like, that's not real, it's dad.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I think the other thing...
Well, for you, Hannah, what's it been like for you to pick up shooting?
Other than your dad shooting your bird.
Well, seriously.
Yeah.
I liked my dad's feedback, but then at times I'm like, someone else please tell me what to do because I don't want my dad giving me advice.
That's true of like learning anything.
Yeah, no,
My
totally.
wife and I go out and we shoot trap regularly. We love it. She loves it. And so other couples will come with us. And then I usually teach the wife of our friend and let them just sit back because sometimes the feedback is received differently from your husband.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Whether it be, I tried teaching my wife one year how to ride a horse and it didn't go. I had to call a professional.
Did it go bad because you were the one teaching it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like teaching your kids to drive. Yeah, it's like, it just goes better when you've got an outside.
Okay,
somebody else.
We are going to give one of these items away. Hannah, you're in charge of this. How are we going to do it?
Yep. So make sure that you're following us and GAIM USA, and then comment your favorite thing to hunt.
So you're going to post.
We're going to make
a giveaway.
Yes.
Okay.
So when this podcast releases,
you're going to drop
when it starts.
Okay. And then that's going to be June 5th, Thursday, June 5th.
Yes.
That's the day this podcast airs. For 1 week, you're going to let the post live. And then people that listen to this, they can go to our Facebook and Instagram page.
Yep.
You like the post, you comment your favorite bird to hunt. Is that what you're going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you're going to randomly
pick. I will randomly pick the winner the following Thursday.
June 12th.
June 12th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. And they're going to get the shotgun, right?
They're going to get the long gun there, right? They'll get...
I should say the long one because this is a rifle
or
and
shotgun.
A
Depending on what scenarios you're in. We'll give them access to all the scenarios, from hunting to clays to everything that there is. We will also include the headset.
Nice.
Oh,
so
wow.
they'll get the full package,
Yeah.
right? They'll be ready to go. We will put it in. We have a GAIM like carrying bag that everything fits into, so
Awesome.
it's portable. We will include that as well.
Did you bring that in here to show it, Trev?
It's in my office, unfortunately. Sorry about that. That's super cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
I think somebody will really love wearing that.
I really think so. And then again, the Father's Day deal that's running now through Father's Day is 20% off.
Yep.
So go to GAIM.com and The promo code is FD20
Yes, sir.
to get 20% off. If you're not a winner and you want this, great addition to your hunting camp, great addition to home, to if you're an instructor.
Yep.
Just there's a lot I think you can take away from that. And then obviously a lot of fun, as you just saw that we had here. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Did we forget anything else here?
I think we covered a lot of ground.
I hope we educated some people, maybe entertained a little bit. Hannah,
I hope so.
Any final parting words here?
All I'll say is that this is really fun, and I recommend doing it with your dad or your mom and heckle
Anyone
a little
you
bit
could heckle.
because,
Yeah.
because that's what makes it so much more fun, is to kind of like make it a game and a competition.
Right.
But it clearly shows where I miss, and it helps me a lot already. I haven't done this in a while, guys, so no judgment.
None
No
at all.
judgment. But
None
also
at all.
I wish I could enter in this giveaway because I want one really bad.
Yeah,
I
there
want
you go.
one really bad.
Well, I'll tell you where I'm going to keep it. I've got to hide it from Al, otherwise he doesn't get any work done. So
Seriously.
you can use it at any time.
I don't use it when you're not here, at least. I make sure to
Yes,
ask
you
you.
have.
Yeah,
You totally have.
you totally have. I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
These are allegations.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Philip.
It's been brilliant.
I hope that you have a very successful shoot tomorrow
Thank
out
you.
at the Horse and Hunt Club.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Maybe practice up a little bit.
I will be hard at work in my hotel room tonight. Making sure I don't make
If
a
you
fool of
see
myself
somebody
tomorrow.
in the window of their hotel and
Yeah.
put the VR and
Yeah.
don't worry
Yeah.
about it. It's not real.
It's going to be fine.
Hannah the Hunter, Big Al, thank you so much for setting all these cameras, microphones, headsets, syncing everything up with the TV. Phillip Jones, all the way here from Virginia. I appreciate
It's been a lot of fun.
everything that you've shared with us today. And we will be back next week with another episode of the Flush Podcast.
Woo woo.